Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just trying to make sure everything's working and appreciate. I think we're live. Let me make sure we're live. Yeah, there we are. Brian, I see you. Greg, what is up, everybody? Today we have a live episode of the podcast. Trying to make sure that I have other platforms. Trying out a lot of different things right now. So before we get into it, I do want to thank our sponsors and we'll roll the ads and then we'll get into it. That is this one. I also want to thank our new sponsors, CallRail. So I've been more into marketing and just online presence with our business, even though we only do commercial. Word of mouth is really good for any business. But once you get to a place where you want to be, a big name online or just anywhere, be recognizable, like I said, online presence, have a nice website, be able to be searchable in Google and all these different search engines, and just have a big presence. You need to know where to spend your money, and all I'm going to say is that CallRail can help you track that if that's something that you're interested in. CallRail can tell you, hey, these are not working so much, these are working really good, stop spending your money here, put more money and effort into this, and just be smarter about what you spend. So make sure you go by callrail.com. They do have a no risk free trial and you can check it out for yourself. And when you're doing your day-to-day work, you got to make bids, you got to do those quotes. I think one of the things that we have to deal with now is finding and pricing out parts. And that's why I wanted to tell you guys about We Supply Trades. They are a family owned online distributor with over 90 years of experience in HVAC, hydronics, and the plumbing world. And if you need parts quickly, they have a massive inventory, which I've been told they've been adding to weekly. You can order by 3:30 p.m. Eastern and get it shipped same day. They have their pro membership, which is not only free, but you also get the benefit of better pricing, free shipping over $99, free returns. And for my listeners, you get a bonus of 15% off your first order with code RELIABLE15. And if you're looking for a supplier who truly understands your world, please go check out WeSupplyTrades.com. I'll leave my exclusive link down in the description. And these guys just get it. Local HQ is a marketing that is geared towards the trades, proven strategies that get your business more leads. They can help you rank higher on Google and all that you would need. So reach out to them at localhq.com/reliable and mention me or the Reliable Trades podcast and get 2 months of SEO for free. All right, I think I have everything running correctly. It's been a while since we did the live episodes. Thank you again for all the sponsors, and I don't want to forget VETO Pro Pack, the best tool bags, Jobber, which helped us get 36 maintenances done this month, and it's all automated. I entered the last of it last week and got the guys going. So if you guys want Jobber, there's a free trial and discount on the link below. And yeah, we'll get into it. I think you guys already know this person that I have in particular, and I think we have quite a bit to talk about today. I have a few topics that I want to get into. Please welcome Mr. Pat Finley. What is up, man?
What's going on, man?
Sorry for the long intro, but I think you know how it is.
Yeah, I keep mine pretty short and sweet because I'm pretty, I don't want to say lazy, but I just never committed to do it that way. So I need to be better, honestly, but uh, it wasn't
I
bad.
I've felt that way in particular because we have these companies that support us. You
Mhm.
have a few that you work with, and it's like you want to give them your best, and it's just I've gone through it this past month, being so freaking tired. You know exactly what I mean because you're even doing some traveling. You said within a week or something. People don't know it goes into not only the HVAC tech during the day, but then the content creator after that.
Yeah, I have a big, it's CFESA, so it's the sanctioning body for what I do for, Commercial Food Equipment Service Association. And their big annual conference starts Sunday in Arizona. So I'm going out there Saturday morning through Thursday. But yeah, it's I don't own a business. I mean, besides the podcast stuff, but I mean, it's still, I'm 55, 60 hours a week. And then, social media stuff for that, you're anywhere from 10 to 20 hours doing the show, editing the show. I mean, it adds up fast. And people understand that, they think it's just a podcast, man. There's a lot more that goes on behind it. It's getting into a year. So you're reaching out, trying to get sponsors. You're trying to line up deals and stuff for HR. You're trying to do different things, get guests. And I mean, just a simple thing like making a post about looking for young guns, because we have that segment where you like to bring in younger people and like highlight them and get their stories, just try to get other young people involved. And people were talking crap on that post, like, "Oh, what about the guys over 30?" I'm like, "I didn't say you guys can't come
Oh,
on the
yeah,
show." I'm like,
yeah. You'll never make everybody happy. I was about to say if you need some, I can recommend you some. But yeah, the older guys are gonna be like, "What about us? What about us?"
it's so funny, man. People on the internet, and I get both sides of it. It was like, dude, I never said I wouldn't have anybody over 30. I was like, I'll have someone 60 years old just starting in this industry. I don't care. I mean, everybody has a story to tell.
Hold on, real quick. Pat, you didn't tell me my mic wasn't working.
Oh,
Do I
I
sound
wonder
better
why it
now?
sounded. Oh yeah, you sound a lot better now. Sorry, I'm terrible. See, I
Thank
don't
you,
know anything.
Matt. Thank you, Matt. Matt
Uh,
was like, your mic doesn't sound good. Yeah, or your good mic's not on. There we go.
you were coming
Man,
through just your.
they're my AirPods.
Oh,
See,
nice. That's what it was.
see that's the kind of equipment that we invest in, and you can see the difference there.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. That's
Well, I was
great.
just
Good catch.
going through the chat right now. There's one man HVAC Ewok is in here. He's like that can be draining. Whoa, for sure. I don't know why it always does that. Okay. See, I'm still learning this program as well. Let's get there. There we go. Ewok. I know I had already reached out to him. We need to catch up, man. He's doing a whole other thing with a whole other business, starting with I think him and his buddy went to another business, started working somewhere else. So he's kind of like learning again, and I feel like he's getting a lot better training, which is always really cool. But what's up, man?
Yeah, I've been following along with his different social medias. It's pretty cool that he's getting an opportunity. Oh, getting this opportunity to learn and grow somewhere else, and someone that they understand he wants to start a business, and they're going to help him get that way. So that's pretty cool to see.
We got a big fan of Mr. Pat Finley in here. What is up, Seth?
What's up, Seth?
See, like, and I think Refrigeration Devil has said it in my chat. Like, you're like a cheat code because I don't know. You tell me how many people are doing commercial kitchen content. I feel like we need more, but I do watch yours. I know some guys that tell me that they watch yours because they're like in my boat where they do refrigeration, but their company
Mm-hmm.
does like kitchen side as well, and they kind of like look at videos to kind of get better about that. Are there a lot of people in your space?
Now, there's a few hit or miss. There's some that do what I do, but then they only show refrigeration stuff or HVAC stuff. And
Because that's what
no, I
gets
wish it.
views.
Yeah, well, it's it's kind of weird, and it's kind of a dangerous little slope I play on because everything I work on is branded, and I don't want to get in trouble. And like people
Oh,
guess where I'm at. Yeah.
that's a whole other thing because you're on the you okay for like who you work for. Is that like a parts there's a whole complicated thing. I've heard you talk about it a few times because you deal with it at your company, and it's a little bit like you said, tiptoeing the line of that. And I can imagine because for the most part, because there's guys that have gotten fired. There's guys that are asked to stop, please stop posting, please don't do this, and they have to shut their whole YouTube or whatever it is down because they work for
Mhm.
somebody that's that doesn't want that.
So kitchen, he does a good job. He goes through periods where he puts some good stuff. So he's a trainer for a competitor of mine. Really good guy, really smart guy. He's putting out some stuff hit or miss. He goes through a period we'll put out a bunch. He doesn't, but yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. I work for probably the biggest conglomerate in the food service repair industry. I work for General Parts, which is part of Unlimited Service Group, which is the service arm of Parts Town. So Parts Town is, if you
Oh
work
yeah.
in commercial PC, you probably know who Parts Town is. They are humongous supplier of OEM parts, and they have a service side. And I work for one of the 37 companies they own in the United States. They have service companies in Canada, over in the UK. They're just world domination. But yeah, you got to toe that line, man. Dude. I've got phone calls from people after I post something that's doing really great. It's like it was controversial. It was borderline. Like tradespeople get it, but like people that wear suits and ties to
Mm-hmm.
work probably don't. And they're like, "Hey, we think this is funny, but you might want to take that down because someone else probably isn't going to think it's funny." So,
Is that like
but
a
yeah,
situation where like you, I don't know, criticized something or just showed something that was bad about the certain brand?
no, it was not. So I try to when it comes to equipment, I don't talk trash. Now I'll talk trash to some
Okay.
tool makers because that's fair game because we don't sell tools and parts tools, so I can get
Yeah,
away
yeah.
with that.
Brian's in the chat. He had a flashlight that literally broke like in a day. I was like, dude, what the hell? He's like,
I would attack
never
that
again.
company, but yeah, I seen that. And he was mad because one of the gifts that he had the receipt. He said they just ghosted him, but no, I try not to bash equipment manufacturers. I try to keep it positive as far as that goes. But no, they're actually really supportive of me. They're behind me 100%. And I do think someone's full time job is to watch my content now, but that's beside the point. But
I've had that
uh,
feeling too. Like, which is crazy. Like there's a whole thing about being on social media because locally I ran into people and people that I work for. That's always my thing. Is like I do these fast food chains and all that. Which you're, you do the same. These managers, hey, I saw your channel, love the videos. I'm like, oh crap, I better watch what I say. So it is a weird thing because you're like putting yourself out there, but then you don't think it's like anybody that you'll run into or that you have to deal with. But there's always somebody watching, so I get it, and that's always my concern is are these customers going to have an issue with because I try not to say like, and I know Chris Stevens, I've learned from him, and even Rick has told me, hey, you left a certain logo in the corner, you might want to go back and blur that. Or Chris Stevens has a thing where he doesn't like anybody guessing the names in the comments. So I've
yeah,
kind of
they
learned from
delete some.
those guys. Yeah, yeah, I've kind of learned from those guys like to be careful because they're like they're just watching out for everybody. So that's the whole other thing is, yeah, if a customer of mine sees that, gets offended, and then they, fire us, whatever. That's not a good look either. Or they try to, use my social media against me. There's a whole other side to it, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, and I do a lot of hot side stuff, and that can pretty dirty and nasty. And I don't, people don't realize what's in restaurants. I mean, I'll show an ice machine, like, oh, they freak out about that. I'm like, dude, that's nothing compared to what I've seen. But I try not to. I don't want to deter anybody from going somewhere, but I also don't want it to get back to like how you're showing this nasty place. You clearly said it was
Oh
X
yeah,
Y Z, right? I don't want to lose my job for that, and plus, I don't want them to shut me down. Like that's how
yeah.
Rich Ortega and I became friends on LinkedIn. We followed each other for a while, and then one day he was doing a crane job, and like he was walking underneath the lift, and like he didn't have a hard hat or nothing on, like he was
Oh
videoing it. I was like, dude, I messaged him like, look, man, I love you showing off your work and stuff. But I was like, you gotta watch out what you show. I said because if it gets back, I said the problem is they're not going to shut you down. They're going to shut everybody down. And I was just starting back then. I just like I don't want to get shut down. So that's
yeah.
how we became friends. Like because he worked for a sister company at that time before he started his own thing. And I was just, I mean, selfishly, I just didn't want to get shut down, and we became pretty good friends over it.
It only takes one incident or one bad post to piss somebody off, and then everybody pays for it. Xavier HVAC, yeah, my employer found out that I post, so he just blurs everything out. That's a whole other thing, cause like cause I've had those discussions with like, the guys over on nights and stuff like, cause they do residential.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few YouTube channels but they work for themselves, so they I guess they take all responsibility, but they show their customers, their faces, the houses that they go into, and they're like, "Oh my god, this and that." Like they show everything and talk about it, and I'm like, you got to be a little more professional than that, because, I mean, that's one of the topics that we're going to get into is professionalism, and I don't know, it just reminded me of that situation from, some of the comments I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't like showing people. Occasionally, someone will be by and my videos will go by, but we had a big talk when I first started about talking about doing this, and like, hey, you can't show any customers because they haven't signed releases and that kind of stuff. And like,
Exactly.
they made the point, like, what if someone's on like witness protection or they like run away from an abusive relationship or something, and then you show them in the background some restaurant, someone figures out where they're at. I'm like, man, you guys trying to make me feel bad for doing something? I'm like, come on now, guys, let's not go this crazy.
No, and see, I do the same thing, and again, just don't want any issues, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, having to delete my channel, having to delete anything, because I
Mm-hmm.
will not show any customers or even conversations. Um, if that's why I always tell people, hey, I didn't record this because I was either working with a bunch of like our technicians or a bunch of like people around me. It's like it's just not gonna happen, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's not worth the risk, man. Because, like you said, it can go far further than just your YouTube channel. You're a business owner.
Oh
It
man,
can. Then you have
which
your dad breathing.
yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. Rudy, appreciate it. That's how we learn. I still look up YouTube videos on everybody, so I learn a lot,
Oh,
and I learn a lot from the comments. That's always a good thing.
mm-hmm.
Is I don't know something, and somebody somewhere will comment exactly what I didn't know, and I'm like, thank you. That was actually helpful. And there was another one here. Okay, so that other I don't know how to say his name. Mikhail. I know who he's talking about. I've seen him online. He said he worked for
Mm-hmm.
some old heads, and they didn't let him post. They wanted to actually regulate every video. It's because they don't want to be put on blast for all the hacks they do.
That could be. That could be.
It's like don't record this. I saw. Here we go. Megan, what was the top? Was it top 25 that she got?
Top 12 women in HVAC.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a
Well
pretty good
deserved.
list. Yeah,
I
very well
haven't gone
deserved. I was
through it, but I was like, well deserved.
She was on there. Jen was on there. Nikki Kruger was on there. Um, Milani was on there. It was a great group. A lot of women that do a lot of great things for the industry. So it was cool to see.
There. I haven't even tapped into all of that. There's so many that I've seen like on TikTok. I guess that's a little more where you see like the
Dude,
younger people and more women. There's a lot of
there's a ton.
really
Yeah, I started following a ton of women in HVAC on TikTok, and they're super young, like 19, 20, 22, 23 years old. And they're out there just service calls and addicts, doing commercial stuff. And it's really cool to see.
yeah. I've seen some, and I'm like they can do way more than I can. They're handling concrete work and all this other stuff like on construction job sites, and I was like I can't even do that. But I love to see it. That just means anybody can if they really want to, they can, and they put their mind to it, they can do it. Obviously, there's people out there that you have to get through, but like I tell everybody, you don't listen to what anybody else has to say. If it's something you want to do, you want to do it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no one else will tell you. Anybody can do anything. I mean, there's always going to be limitations. I mean, there's limitations for what I do. There's limitations for what you can do. You just got to know your limitations, know when to ask for help. That's about. I mean, as worst as it gets.
Kitchen Cowboy. Tool reviews are the shit. I really like tools, but they better work. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I need to start doing some of that kind of stuff. I made that video about my VETO the other day, and I got so much shit. They're like, "Oh, you can't figure out how to put the bolt back in." I was like, "Did I say I couldn't put the bolt back in?" I'm like, it fell out. I found it in the parking lot. So be it. Like, it's not the end of
Yeah,
the world.
yeah,
People
you
are
know people.
losing.
So yeah, young people, Xavier, young people in the trade is a good thing, and I am all for it. There is a wave of younger guys right now that are really killing it, and I love to see it. Now, on that note, I have apprentices now, which is it's a different feeling for me. It's a different experience for me because I've never had that, except for my younger brother who just, he does really good work, so I don't have to worry too much about it. We've had some altercations. I know you said that you think it's in the air because like I saw Rich post about it. I've talked about it. You've talked about it. I know there's others, and I have apprentices, and since then, because it's just happened like this week, I think there was another altercation where some lady was going off on my apprentices, and I'm like, geez, like what's going on? Is that because I've heard you talk about it a few times, right? And you go out to a lot of like warranty calls or like places, that maybe they didn't expect you or call you in the first place, but it's a warranty, whatever it is. Is that a normal thing? Because I've heard you talk about it a few times. Like, do you have these altercations like frequently? Like, is there an issue that comes about from that?
No, it's random, but it's like last week was just one of those weeks, man. I had three and two in one day, and it was just funny, man. Like I wanted to lose my mind, and
But
one
yours
was,
sound way worse than like the ones that I've dealt with, because you said they're yelling and
oh yeah,
all this other stuff, and you have to kind of keep your composure.
yeah. And luckily, the worst one was that dealer that was just, I mean, he would not stop, dude. And I was just trying to make sure stuff was installed right. And luckily, the end user was there, my trainee was there, because that guy called my office, and I was like, man, I was like, no. I had my boss called me on speakerphone. I was like, look, I said, I had Houston right here with me. I said, I've got the people running the space, and the guy running the space goes, man, no, that guy's absolutely terrible. He's like, he's been an absolute nightmare this entire project. He's like, he didn't do anything wrong. I was like,
Mm,
cool. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is, man. And I get it from warranty, non-warranty. Just I get people are in a bad mood sometimes, man. But there's no reason to treat people like that or talk to people like that.
No, and I think I saw Jason Latimer talk about, because he's been on the other side of that,
Hmm.
right? Like, and he says that there's no room for that either from anybody, basically. But you know, I've tried to put myself in their shoes, right? A manager, a store manager, whatever. Like, their equipment is not working. They're, you know losing product, losing customers, whatever it is. I try to put myself in those shoes. But you need to, treat others with respect. That's all I ask, because the thing that happened with us is like the last one was my new guys, right? They went out, they've been doing maintenance, and like once I trained them on a few, they got the hang of it. I'm like, great, you guys are doing great. They finished out one of the contracts that we had, and actually the last two happened to them, and the last one that they went to, the lady, and I remembered, because there's like, at this specific customer, like, they have several managers or several people in like the manager t-shirts, and I'm like, how many do you guys need? Sometimes they're all there. And the one that I normally deal with is great. She's like, oh, okay, whatever, and then she'll have me check some things if she has anything else. But I forgot there's just one other lady that questions everything and gets upset about everything, and like, she happened to be there when they went, and she's like, you're not touching that equipment. And they're like, we're here to clean it, and it's not even like a brand new system. They had to go clean it. It was cleaning coils, making sure everything's good, checking temp, just a basic maintenance. And then our senior tech showed up to help them out, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna need your name, and I'm gonna write it here in the invoice, because she offered to clean it herself. And he's like, I need to document, because we teach our guys that too, like, to document everything, take pictures, whatever it is, just to cover your ass. We talked about it in my I think my last stream. And she was like, no, 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 I don't want my name on there. Just never mind. You go ahead and do it. So then she had made a big fuss for like a while, until the senior tech went out there to kind of resolve it, and then, oh, okay, whatever. So I don't know, man. They like to be hard, and my whole thing is, I get it. Some of them get like bonuses. That's always the worst part of it. Like when that comes into play, or whatever. But like, for the most part, it's not their money. The main person that is calling us wants his stuff fixed or clean or whatever it is, and they're paying us. Like, not this person that we have to deal with.
So, are your apprentice younger guys then?
One is straight out of high school, and one is younger than me, but he's not like super young. I want to say he's probably 30, but he came from nursing. Like, it's his
So
first.
is he
Go ahead.
pretty timid then, customers and stuff like that? Then is he pretty?
Yeah.
So you know, I'm not gonna lie. I have two apprentices. One's my son is 19. He's gonna be 20 next week, and then I've got my older son's 22. He's been doing it a little over 3 years, and so that's the hard one for me because this happened Friday. There was customer, I went out there. It was towards the end of the day, and they were going to send my son, and my son's like, "I'm not going back out there." He's like, "Last time I was out there, this guy was a dick to me. He was just there to do a PM on the kitchen cooking stuff, and the guy wouldn't let him do it. He brought in a descaler to clean the boilers on the rationales. And the guy's like, "You can't have that in my kitchen," like belittling him. My son went around the corner to call the boss, and he was out there talking shit around his mouth to his coworkers and my son. So I was like, screw it. I was like, you do my last call, I'll do your last call. So I went out there and I didn't see the guy, the kitchen manager. I was like, cool, he's not here. I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
so I went in, fixed the unit. I did everything I had to do. It was like some little chick working in the kitchen. I talked to her. I was like, cool, I'm out of here. So I'm out in the truck doing notes, and I look over and the kitchen manager's walking across the parking lot, making a beeline for my truck. I was like, no. And he came up to the passenger side, and I acted like I didn't see him. I was like just on my phone doing notes, just like trying to ignore him. And he came over and he goes, "Did you fix it?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What is it?" I said, "Well, it's a pump." He's like, "Well, you guys were just out here and you just changed that pump." And I was like, "Well, let me look at the history." He's like,
Mm,
"Well, it's these two young kids and they were out here just dicking around, making jokes and goofing off, not taking it serious." And this is my boys, both my sons. And I'm just like biting my lip. I'm like,
yeah,
"Dude, I know the full story. I'll get out of this van and smack you right in the mouth if you knew I'd get away with it." But I'm like, so I feel that with the apprentices, man. I mean, you want to look out for them. You don't want them to get abused because customers can see that they're timid or they're not as comfortable as maybe you are, and they'll push the boundaries.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Um, so my whole thing was like, you got to stay professional. Now, I don't want my guys talking back or yelling back or anything like that. So I would, because I'm in my dad's role now, which is so weird to me because when I started, it's like, oh, I'm gonna call my dad. Like I don't want to deal with this customer, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
I would want them to just give me a heads up if they have a hard time somewhere, but just be respectful. Try to do the work. If they don't let you, obviously, then pack up and go. We'll charge for it anyway. But then I'll go out there to try and so like
Mm-hmm.
with the one before that, it was the one that I told on HVAC nights where it was um, again the young guys were out there. It's the two younger ones. They've been together on maintenances and stuff, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a good way for them to learn. I always tell people, maintenance is perfect. You see the unit running and you get to take it apart and put it back together. It's perfect. And unfortunately, they were working on a walk-in box for that one that I mentioned on nights, and it had like five. I want to say it was five ECM motors for those ceiling mount evaporators, right? And he mentioned that they were dancing around, right? And it just so happened to be two of them. It couldn't just be one. And he took pictures, but he didn't like bring the manager over. So I told him next time, please. I don't care if you have to wait for them or drag them over. Like show them before you touch it. Because sure enough, then they said that we messed them up, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take it too far because I actually had photos from like months ago of me telling them that it was about to give out, but they never like called it in, anything like that. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go that far. I got the approval from the main manager to just replace them. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just replace them because I explained to him what happened, and he's like, yeah, okay, things happen. And that's when I get there and I get the little heckler that I had, who was basically like telling us if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which I'm assuming he meant like you shouldn't have touched it. It was working fine. And I was like, man. And I let him see. Here's the thing. Like, I don't know. I let it go usually the first
Mm-hmm.
time, right? With any altercation. If they want to say something, sorry, we'll take care of you, yada, yada, whatever. So I try to have patience, but this one went at it a few different times, and he always did it when I stepped outside. I could hear him. So I had to confront him on this one, but I didn't take it to the extreme, right? I'm not gonna, swing at the old man or anything. And again, I made this comment because I did record. I just didn't show the work because I was so pissed. And
Mm-hmm.
I I was like, this man is the one in the back. I don't want to belittle him, but he was washing dishes, taking out trash. Like he's not one of the managers or anything. So I was like, what is the deal here? But you're gonna get people
Why?
like that. Yeah, you're gonna get people like that no matter what. So I've been trying to tell my guys, don't be confrontational. If anybody needs to confront them, I'll do it. And I've been better about it. My dad has been known to go off on people. So I've tried to kind of pull him back, and I'm the one in there now, and I usually try to talk to them And if they're just impossible, then I'll walk away. I mean, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, it's the same approach I take. I let them get their one shot in, and like hopefully that's enough, and they leave me alone. But there comes a point in time where it's like they just keep going and going and going, and most of the time I don't even give them the status. They want you to react. That's the problem. They want you to react. They want you
Well, that
to make
yes,
a scene. They
you're gonna
want
get
you
in
so
the
they can call against
you're gonna
you,
get
and
in
it's
all the heat, all the trouble, and it's gonna cost you. That's why I told my dad it's not worth it because he's like, I'm gonna go over there and tell him something. I was like, dude, I was like, I'm gonna go replace the motors. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to them if anything happens. Which then that old man did his what he said and all that. But I was trying to tell my dad because my dad doesn't like to. But it's because like it's me, my brother. Before we had the other guys, it was me and my brother, and you understand that like his kids are out
mm-hmm,
there and they're having to deal with these people. And
mm-hmm.
then I feel like in the kitchen space, you run into all sorts of different kinds of people. Uh, so he starts feeling a certain way. But these apprentices, I felt like I had to look out for them too. So I got upset about that too. But I don't take it to the extreme. You gotta because I told my dad it's not worth it. I was like, this is our business. If the guy wants to give us work, we have these maintenance contracts. We have these, he had me change out the motors. He could have called somebody else. Like it is what it is. Like I'll go and I'll deal with it. But most of the time, I've seen if you confront them, they kind of back down.
Mm-hmm. So my favorite thing to do is I let them get the one shot in. If they keep going, I don't say nothing to them. I just politely and calmly put my tools back in my bag. I just leave. I don't say a word. I just walk out the door, take my tools, and leave. And then most of the time they're freaking out when they start seeing you walk out the door. That's when they come up behind you, like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't get paid to deal with this." I said, "You can call back in the office." I said, "We're 3 to 5 days out. They'll send someone else out. We'll see you in a week." "Oh, no, no, just stay, just stay." I'm like, "No, I'm done. I'm leaving. You can
Yeah,
wait a week now."
I try to
That's
tell
about
them
much.
that. Yeah, I try to tell them that too. Like, I don't have to deal with it. I can just leave. Like, you're the one that needs whatever equipment fixed.
Yeah, that's generally how I try to deal with it, man. But sometimes I just want to be petty, dude. I had a plumber last week give me on water pressure to a combi and told me I was lying. It called me a liar, said it didn't happen. That's impossible. And then I got pictures on my phone I can show you. And I was so mad he called me a liar. I was shaking, my hands were shaking, and I
Mm.
was trying to show him a picture on my phone. He goes, "Oh, you're scared and you're shaking?" And I was like, I lost it, dude. I was like, "You just called me an effing liar." I was getting
No,
red in the face. I
that's
was just,
you. That's you holding in what you really want to say
yeah,
or what you really want to swing on. And like when you had told me that, I was like, I've been there, dude. Like, you just get worked up inside because you can't let it out. And
yeah. Once he realized what he did and why I was so mad, dude, he was like freaking out. He started apologizing. He's a little guy. He was like 5'3". I was like, "Dude, I will pick you up and throw you inside this oven and turn it on."
well, yeah, I was
Uh,
like, if I saw you in person and pissed you off, I'd be scared.
Dude, I just last week was a week, man. I had this three incidents, and just one was like last part of the day, Friday. I literally went and like, I gotta find a cigar on the way home so I can just like chill, roll my window down, smoke a cigar on the way home, and like it's Friday. Let's not get any overtime calls. Leave me alone. It happens though. I mean, you can only take so.
Greg brings up a good point too, but it's to yours when you ask me like, are were they apprentices? It's sometimes the young guys have to earn the trust from the customer, which I've learned that too because I've been doing this since I was like 20, and I've had those ugly looks or like I don't want this kid here or I don't want him doing this or who is this kid. I've had that before too, and you just typically shut them up by actually doing the work. Like, do the
Mhm.
work, get it fixed, tell them whatever, even though they badmouthed you right before. Just hey, I got it going for you. If you need anything else, let us know. Yada yada, and then next time they'll be a lot nicer to you.
Yeah, I like the ones that say something about my kids working there. Like they'll say something about Corbin. He's my older son's been doing it for a while. I was like, man, this kid was here and he just seems awfully young. And,
Oh,
they'll,
dude,
they'll
I've
run
heard
their
that.
mouth. I'm like, dude, he's like one of our best techs. I'm like, he's 22 years old. And like, he's if I could do what he was doing at 22 years old, I said I'd be making a lot more money than I'm making now. I said I wouldn't knock that kid, and I don't tell him I'm his bad thing, but I just say it that way. And
Yes.
most times, and I like, but it's hard separating family from work. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably my biggest thing I have to struggle with every day.
Yeah, it's and I never thought about that because like we deal with it as a family business, but you deal with it because your kids work just happen to work with you, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to, like you said, kind of separate it, or like you said, you don't even tell anybody, that when you go do work that they're your kids because even for me that's happened where it's like my brother or I've had my
Mm-hmm.
cousins work for us. I've had different family members or people that I know work for us. And there's been times, or even just the apprentices, because recently there was somewhere where I went and the person was like, because there's several companies I go out to one of these customers at least, and we're on a list of like I don't know 2 or 3. So I went to go fix something, and then they started bad mouthing, some younger techs, and I was like, I know my guys were just here, but they weren't there to fix it. They were just there to kind of check it and let me know. And of course they were like, oh, they were just here and they didn't do anything, or they messed with it, and just let them talk. I'm not even gonna try and like intervene and be like, those are my guys, or what are you talking about? Like, just let them talk, kind of let them uh, get it out, and then, hey, I'm here now. I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry, we'll take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just let it go. It's so hard though, man. Especially your kids. It's like I just want that guy last call. I just want to like roll my window down and like just reach out and just start choking him. Like, no, you were just belittling kids. They were trying to do the job, and you wanted to bully them.
We'll
I
see,
did. I
because
did pull.
the real quick, like the last instance, I guess we had to bring it up just in case we were blamed for anything, and so my dad brought it up to the area managers. Well, they're gonna have an internal meeting now to handle these store managers because it's happened like we were talking about like all last week. It just kept happening.
Yeah, I mean, and generally it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it's just enough to irritate you. But
Uh,
like you said, you talk to you that way. They only gonna do it to someone else, the younger people or the people they don't know.
oh, dude, like sometimes I'm ready for it. I go back and I'm ready for it, and then they don't do it. They
Mm-hmm.
don't act like that. I'm like, why? But yeah, they want to pick on the younger ones. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, like I always say, apprentice needs to learn customer service, which I do. I never understood that part. I thought technicians only had to fix stuff, but yes, customer service, manners, and then all the technicalities, right? The trade itself that will open up so many doors, and you'll become basically a good technician. So I had the fixing stuff down pat. My customer service sucked. So not until I fixed that part of it did I become like really good with my customers, and they were happy every time I went, stuff like that. So I get it. I didn't get it in the beginning, and I realize now how important customer service is to a business, whatever size, residential,
Mm-hmm.
commercial, whatever it is, you need it.
Yeah, soft skills is huge, man. That's what we call it. And that's I think it's more important than fixing stuff. There's days I can't fix something, but I can talk my way out of it or explain it in a way or justify it to the customer where they understand and they're a lot more forgiving than if you just say, "Hey, it's broke. I go order parts and walk out."
Jason, yeah, there never fails. Take a certain amount. After that, you bounce. I mean, walking away is the only thing you can really do. There's nothing in this business that is worth uh, acting out, like lashing out or doing anything violent. So don't do that.
It's always funny when they come begging, they come freaking out when you start leaving, dude. They freak out.
You
Come
you
over, hey, we're get
you
away with
said
somebody else.
you said that's happened, right? Where you're like packing up and then they try and get you back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had
Yeah.
one restaurant. It was a cheeseburger in paradise, and this guy was terrible. And I had just started here, and everybody said, dude, like you're gonna hate going in there. This guy's terrible. This guy's terrible." And I was working on this fryer, and I've been there like 5 minutes. They're like, "You got to figure it out yet?" And I was like, "Dude, I just sat down. Let me figure it out."
Oh,
And he
dude.
just kept on. He kept on me, dude. And like it was like, "You should have had this figured out by now." And like I started putting my stuff up, and I left, dude. And I got outside, and he came outside freaking out. He said, "Why are you leaving?" I said, "You don't have to talk to me like that, man. Like it's ridiculous, dude." I said, "I'm here to help you out, and you're not going to do this to me." He's like, "Just come back in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." So actually, I
Damn.
went back. I went back in, and that guy was my best friend. Like I
Oh,
came in there
okay.
after hours to eat, and he bought me and my wife dinner.
Okay,
Like no
that's
one
a
ever
good
stood
one.
up to him. He didn't know
That's a
how
good
to.
one.
He didn't know.
See, I had to learn that from my dad because there was a few, and I was like halfway in, 8 years in, something like that. I mean, I was still in my 20s at that point, and again, like I said, I was always like, I can fix it, I can fix it, but I couldn't deal with the customers. And we ran into one that was just straight up asshole, but like jokingly with everything, sarcasm, calling you names, and just a ton of things where I just didn't feel comfortable. My dad
Mhm.
goes in there and he kind of figures him out, and this is what I've gotten from Rich as well, because Rich loves to diffuse and kind of learn about the customer, right? Like what they like, relate to them. I've heard him talk about that a few times, and my dad does that. So like this one in particular, it's just his personality. I could never tell if he was serious or mad or happy or whatever. I couldn't tell. My dad just figured it out, and he's like, that's just how he is. So he's gonna joke. He joked back with him like that, like, calling names or whatever, you asshole, this, what, like whatever. He just matched his energy, and we all became best friends. Like he loved us after that. So that was
Uh,
eye opening for me, because every customer is different. You're gonna have some that are super quiet and they just want the work done. You're gonna have some that want to talk all the time, some that are over your shoulder, which I mean I don't particularly like, but you have those, and then you're gonna have some that are pushing you all the time, or just nagging, or whatever you want to call it. But if you're respectful to them or nice to them or can relate to them, then they reciprocate it.
yeah, I've got a lunch lady that every time I go there, it's like a 30, 45 minute conversation about like what she's done between the last time I seen her. She's like showing me family photos. She's talking about her vacation. She's talking about the car she bought. And I mean, so it goes both ways. You get the terrible customers, and you get the customers like, I just want to go. But they're telling you their life story and everything else. I'm like,
Oh
well, I
my
guess you're
god.
paying here.
I used to hate it because I'm always like go go go, but
Mhm.
you understand you're paid for your time. So if whether they're being nice or they're just haggling you, like, or just making it difficult for you, like okay, I'll stay. Like I'm gonna charge an extra hour, whatever it is. But I mean, if you want me to stay, I'll stay. So I kind of learned that too, to where I would try and cut them off and get out of there. But that also goes back to customer service. Like if you just sit there, take the extra 20, 30 minutes to talk to them and maybe explain them something, or just listen to what they have to say, or maybe they have other stuff that they have concerns about. Of course, you're billing for time, but they feel like you listened, right? And then they like you, they're comfortable with you, and they'll call you again.
Yeah, I had a guy, he'd been doing this like 25, 30 years, and he changed the company to work with us. And I was talking to a customer, I was checking out, and I spent like 5, 10 minutes talking to this customer, and we got to the truck, and he goes, does that customer know that, they're paying you to talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes? I'm like, care, dude. Like, I'm someone they get to talk to. They get to, I'm building that trust and relationship with them. If they want to spend 5, 10 minutes talking to me, that's fine. I said I didn't initiate that conversation. I
Mm-hmm.
I told them what was wrong, explaining the matter which they understood, and let them know, what the course of action was. I said they're the one that initiated that 5 to 10 minute conversation, and I just sat there and listened, and I interacted with them. I mean, they don't care. They don't. They're not going to realize that 5, 10 minutes is on there, dude.
No, and it's you again, you help them in one way or another. If they have something else that they're concerned about, or they have other questions, just take the time. I always tell people, slow down, because even in my, because I've gotten after like our senior tech because he's rushing. I'm like, dude, slow down. I was like, whether the customer's holding you up, or you got to take a few extra minutes to make sure it's working, like just slow down. Like there's too much of a rush, I think, emphasized, especially at a business, because that guy came from another business where they were just like go go go, and knock out as many as you can. And over here, I tell the apprentices, if it takes you all day to do a maintenance, I'm not gonna get mad at you. I want you to do it quicker next time, but I'm not gonna get mad at you.
Yeah, it needs to be done right, and you're learning along the way too. So,
I
so
like
have you noticed? Good.
Well, real quick, I like Brian's. I've used this tactic before. You wear your earphones and then you just, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I try not to do that, but
I,
occasionally, if I get my nose is going to be terrible, I'll wear them.
I was gonna say it depends on the customer because I might not even be listening to music. I just have them on just so that they think I am.
Then you can listen to them talk shit and everything else.
Oh yeah, I get a little
So,
closer. I'm like, what'd you say?
so have you noticed? So we do all different kinds of restaurants. We do high end and we do fast food. And I notice like the fast food's more chill and laid back. If you get into these high end restaurants, you get these chefs and they think there's something special because it's some fancy restaurant. And they think you can just, they all think they're Gordon Ramsay and they're screaming at people and stuff, man. I'm like, I don't play those games, man.
Yeah, we had one that was a fancy Italian restaurant, and that's the one where we had the asshole manager actually. So a very different environment. Had to get used to it. I was because I kind of was talking about this about one of my current places that I have to go to, but it was just because of all the bad altercations
Mm-hmm.
we had recently. But that one, that fancy restaurant, I was ready to drop them, and we came to a mutual agreement that we didn't want to be working there anymore. It just they expected so much, and I'm like basically like, who do you think you are? Like we'll get to you, And I worked over like nights, weekends. They would call like when because I had just had a kid at that point. Like I was like, I can't do this anymore. So they expected a whole lot. They wanted stuff under warranty that wasn't under warranty, like callbacks that weren't callbacks, all this kind of stuff. And we helped them so much. And that's what always gets my dad and gets our senior tech too, gets upset. I'm like, just let them. I was like, if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. And lately I've realized some places are, and it's like you said, like if they give you a hard time, you can just leave. They need you more than you need them. And I had to get that into, or kind of had that mindset in our business because like even that senior tech, we've had him for a while now. He gets upset when they call somebody else like second opinion. I'm like, dude, as long as you did the work that you should have done and you recommended what you need to and you covered your ass with pictures and a detailed invoice, I'm not worried. They're going to get the same recommendation, which is it's happened all the time. Like they're going to get the same recommendation, and the only thing that sucks is they might give that guy the bid because they're too ashamed to call us back. But I know we don't typically do ugly work or lie to the customer. That's always been my biggest thing.
Yeah, yeah. Just do your best work, and that's why I think this internet thing's really taken off. Is if you're going to show your work online, you have pride in it, so you're going to do a better job. So I think that kind of leads into all that. But no, these chefs, man, are wild. I had one at a hospital, and he was throwing a fit, and he was like, "Don't you know who I am?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, I used to be John Travolta's personal chef," and
Oh my god.
I was like, "Well, John Travolta doesn't own this place, so I don't really care." And the guy just kind of looked at me and like ran off, and I was like, the guy with me was like, "I can't believe you said that to him." I was like, I don't care who he is, dude. And I'm like, you're a chef at a hospital. Chill out.
Exactly, dude. That's my whole thing when it's always like the guy in the back like yelling about something. I'm like, dude, like what?
Yeah. What's that doing
uh,
for you? Where are you getting? Yeah.
exactly. And I don't know. Whole other story, but Megan, you have to be personable. She used to run a professional cleaning company, and some people would basically just have me show up to hang out, have a bottle of wine with them. That's a neat perk right there.
That's funny. That's good stuff.
That's my dad, dude. That's what I'm trying to learn from him. And like they just, where's your dad? They just want to like have him there to talk to, basically. So sometimes we go together, and he's just talking to the customer while I'm working or something.
You're like, if I knew this was gonna be like this, I wouldn't have came.
Exactly. And I told him sometimes, I'm like, dude, if you're not going to do the work, I don't need you to come. Um,
Uh, this isn't happy hour, bud.
yeah, but it's funny that that's part of the industry that maybe doesn't get talked about enough is customer service. So when I see, and I've said it about Ewok, I've said it about other young technicians, I'm like, dude, he has his manners, respect. He respects his customers. That is like you mentioned, some of these guys, like your kids, are ahead of the game on their, what they've learned and what they've been able to do, or their handling of customers, or being able to fix things and learn more after work and stuff like that. Like you said it about yourself too. I wish I had that when I started because I didn't.
Yeah, man, it took me years and years and years to get that side down to talk to customers. I could figure out stuff easy, but when it came to talking to people, I froze, man. I'm not a people person. Like people see me online doing the podcast stuff like that. I'm like, dude, this took me years to get to this level.
I'm the same.
Um,
I'm exactly the same.
like you see me in public and I'm just sitting there quiet. It's like minding my own business. I'm just looking around, listening, watching. But people are like, "Oh, you're so good talking to people." I'm like, "That's hard earned."
It's hard. And Greg mentions he loves talking to customers, and my co-host Jake is talking it up with his customers, right? Personable as can be. I am the complete opposite. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to kind of tie into to this conversation we've had. Is like I had to learn it later, but in general, I'm just in it. I was an introvert. I was to myself. I didn't like talking to anybody at these jobs that I would go to. And you mentioned the podcast. Like I don't even know how the hell I ended up here, but here we are. And it takes a lot of work, and even mentally, and everything else, like to do this kind of stuff. And I just love, like right now, the chat has been great. Like the interactions, everybody helping everybody. That's always what makes me continue to do it, because it is so difficult for me to do it. Some weeks I'm like, do I even want to do this again? Do I want to get into this booth and start talking to people? Because like that is not my happy place. Until the conversation starts and I get excited about what we're talking about, like I don't look forward to doing these things.
Dude, there's Wednesdays like 7:45. I'm like walking up to my office. It's like I go up a flight of stairs. I'm just like one foot at a time. Like I don't want to do this. And then once I get in here and I get to talking to people and I see the chat, it's like a switch flips and I'm good to go and I'm happy. But it's just I don't know, man. You talk to people all day at work, and you're forced to at work. You have to do it.
Yeah, I get.
Just like you do it and you have to do it. But I mean, I enjoy this side of it too. It's taken a long time to get to where I'm at though.
Oh, I and just a side note, this whole podcasting and social media, I think has helped me become a better, like like a better speaker and in front of my
Mhm.
customers. Like I feel like it's helped tremendously. So that's been a good perk out of it. And yes, Brian, I love everybody in the chat. Love everybody, all the comments that I get. Like it would not be worth it without that interaction, the comments and messages that I get.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's always a blast to see what's going to pop up or who's going to pop in. And I see some new faces in occasionally. I'm like, hey, how'd you hear about me? How'd you find out about this?
Greg is like, I like trying to explain what I'm doing or what I found, get them feeling like they understand. I used to talk. See, I didn't like talking, but I could talk about HVAC all day. So there was times where I would talk their ear off about like superheat and all the technicalities or whatever we found. I had to kind of find a balance in between to where they understand what I'm saying, they get the gist of it. I use words like freon all the time, just so they understand. I know some people don't like it, but I try to engage with them in that conversation and I do want to explain to them how their system works and what happened to it. And the better they understand, that's good for them, because then they'll know, what we did actually, because that's always the hardest part. Is like some calls you're trying to explain to the customer that you actually did something and you weren't just playing on your phone.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one, man. Because my son had a customer. He had a dish machine. He was trying to get. He was texting with the factory. The factory had a text thing, and I was in the office, and she called in and said, "Your text is here on his phone, playing games on his phone or watching YouTube or something." So I go out there, and he's like done wrapping it up. I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I told him what she said. He goes, "I was texting the guy at the factory." He's like, "He gave me his phone number.
Yep.
We were texting back." He said, "I got it fixed, and it's all done." And she goes, I walked in. She goes, "Oh, you're here to help?" I'm like, "Oh, he's got it done." She was like, "Oh." I was like, "He's he's pretty good at his job. I said, just because he's young, people give him a hard time, think he doesn't know what he's doing. I said he was talking to the manufacturer. He wasn't just playing games or on YouTube. And she was, and I said that right in front of him, and she's like, "Well, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that." I was like, "Yeah, you did."
I had that same complaint about me back when or not, it was a while back. And the thing is, like, especially now with all the Bluetooth stuff that we have to deal with, like you're most likely doing something on your phone that's pertains to work, right? Like I've had that complaint, and my dad's like, he's either texting me, calling a supply house, texting because that became a thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, or I'm on my CRM writing out the invoice. Like there's something, I do everything on my phone now, so it's always hard. Sometimes I feel like I need to be like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm working, don't come at me.
My favorite's ice machines. I'll have my
Yes.
probes on there. I have my probes on there. It's just a waiting game, anyways. I mean, you get lucky. Some machines are 10-minute cycles, and some machines are 45-minute cycles. But I'll have my
And you have
probes
to
on there.
watch and time
Yeah,
everything.
and I'll be on my phone, and the customer coming by, and I'll hurry up, flip back to the probes or something. But most of the time, I'm like scrolling Facebook or goofing off, and then when the customer comes by, I like flip by real quick and like, oh, see. Then I explain to them like, oh, see these, there's no hoses coming off. I'm not losing refrigerant and hoses, that kind of stuff. I said it's all on my phone. I said you can download this app. You can look at it if you want. And I
Yeah.
explained to them most of them, that's cool. I had no idea you could do that. I'm like, oh yeah, everything's on the phone anymore.
Yeah, because especially in those times, right? Like like you said, it could be 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it is. I'm gonna end up doom scrolling a little bit in between the ice machine dropping, so or checking emails or doing something. But it is what it is. Um,
Editing video or something on the phone. I'm terrible, man.
I did want to get into kind of the social media stuff, even though we touched on it. Like I think it is crucial for more people to post and show kind of what they do. I do love what you do with the commercial kitchen side of it, and I know you've been like an advocate for it. You've been trying to get, it or get it more out there, and that's a great way to learn, right? Is YouTube videos, podcasts, social media is a little bit of fun here and there, but I mean, you can learn a lot from a lot of these guys that post online, and I've seen an influx of people trying it
Mm-hmm.
out. I hope they stick it out because it's not easy, and people wonder because I've been called different things as far as like the companies or sponsors I work with. A lot of this stuff costs a lot of money, so there's something to be had that we got to get something back out of it, right? It's a lot of time. I made a big commitment this year to do like more content, and it's really been a whole other full-time job when I get out of work to do this stuff. And I know you feel the same.
Yeah, I try to do something every day. I was trying to do a reel every day, but just it gets pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I record troubleshooting something and I don't get to come back for a week, or I get wrapped up in the repair and forget to record something, or I was using those glasses and they only record for so long before they die, or my camera overheats from trying to record in 4K because I'm trying to get better images or video for YouTube, and just it's always something, man. But I try to just put out a little bit every single day, and just even if it's something stupid, I'll just show like a video. Like I just put out a reel of like me pulling a vacuum on something yesterday, just to throw something out there, just to get some interaction, some engagement. Um, like I said, people always ask me for tips. I'm like, dude, I'm probably the worst person in the world. I actually did a public engagement about for Sufesa for social media and growing and stuff. And I was like, you guys want me to do this? They're like, yeah. I was like, I'm probably the worst person in the world to ask for social media advice from. I'm like, it's still growing, it's still going, but
Hey,
um,
you got my whole thing. See, we can get into a little bit of content creation before we get off. I typically set like these small, realistic goals, right? Like I have these little goals that I try to put myself out there to hit, and if I do that and I stay consistent, I feel like it's growing and stuff like that. Like I feel good about it. Um, what community is my biggest thing is do you have that community, right? And you have that, I have that, a lot of us that know each other. That's always the important part because you could have however many thousand followers,
mhm.
subscribers. I've seen some some channels that get crazy off of like a maybe a viral video, but they have no community, they have no engagement, stuff like that. So I think personally, I think slow and steady is nice, and setting these little goals for yourself, and then just kind of don't get too deep into it when you start. I started on my phone and I did everything like that forever until I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. Let me get like a camera. Let me get a MacBook. Let me get this podcast setup. And it comes with time. I've encouraged more people to do it, but I'm like, be realistic. Just take your time with it. Pace yourself. I hate all the videos that I started with. I absolutely hate them. I even took some of them down because they were so bad. And I started thinking, like, if somebody sees that one of those first videos and that's the first impression, that's not good. So I did take some of them down. Like, you're going to hate your first videos and you're only going to get better from there.
When I won that tactical award for best social media content, I was like, how the hell did I win this?
Well,
I was like, this is
congrats on that and being nominated for your podcast. I do want to say your podcast has done great. I did want to kind of, close out with this, but we'll get into it already. Like, your podcast is great. You've changed people's careers with them being on your podcast. You have a lot of networking and, like I said, community to it. I mean, there's not, it's not for nothing, man. And when I saw that you were nominated for the podcast award, well deserved. I hope you are up there again, taking that one too. But your
I'm
podcast has been
trying.
great. Your content has been great, and I think it's well deserved.
I appreciate it, man. I've been inspired by a lot of people. Me and you kind of started coming up about the same time, doing social media and stuff like that. But, I enjoy watching your stuff. I enjoy watching Chris Stevens really started it for me and some of the other people. Yeah. Thanks, Megan. Just, I'd never seen anybody doing the kitchen stuff. And I just felt kind of
There you
like,
go.
I
Yeah.
felt neglected or, we were just being left out. So I just started doing it and it's turned into something else. I'm glad that we're really lumped in with the HVACR community because they're really open. It's a really good group of people. Now, Facebook can be a little toxic. I like to stick to Instagram, but I still use Facebook quite a bit. But it's fun, man. And if you want to show off your work, do it. It's going to make you a better tech, like I said earlier, because if you're willing to show it off, you're going to have pride in it. If you're going to have pride in it, you're going to take that extra step and make sure it's right. But just be willing to learn from people because there's going to be people that are going to come along and they're going to give you pointers. They're going to try to help you out. Say, hey, I probably would have done it this way, or hey, do it this way, or hey, that wasn't too safe. You might want to do it this way. Just be open to criticism. Now, don't take people just being flat out assholes or haters. I mean, don't deal
Yeah,
with that, but don't.
there was one that I had seen a young creator. Somebody tried to tell him to do it a different way, and he wasn't having it. There was a whole fight. That situation is that's criticism or them trying to help you, right? Do it another way. So I've been able to take that and
Mhm.
help myself become a better technician. But yeah, I've had some that just come out straight name calling and all this other crap. Those are the ones you gotta ignore or not deal with.
But do not delete their comments because even
I
hate
made that
helps you.
mistake. I
I
made that
did when I
mistake.
first started. I was deleting every negative comment. People were like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Cause it looks bad." They're like, "Dude, don't. It helps you, good or bad. It all helps you." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, see, these other big YouTubers told me to, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I should." And then I was like, "Why did I do that?" Like, I would rather of other people have seen that and just kind of. I still like to respond. I just don't like to argue. So I would have responded with something, but I just would have. I should have left it up, just as an example,
Yeah.
right? Like, I regretted deleting that one. It was
I
really
so
bad too.
I used to put up some personal stuff and like I had a mountain bike and like it has a weird it's just a side topic but just kind of leads back into it is it has a weird Schrader in it to air it up and it's like something
Mm.
different and I made a video about talking about it and this dude like always interacted with me all the time was always cool with me apparently him and his wife were splitting up and he was just I guess that's what it really
Uh,
was but he was like what does your fat effing ass know about a mountain bike and I was like, block, delete, gone. I was like, I am not doing this. Like, that was just a video of something I thought was cool. And like, he came in saying shit like that. And there was a couple other comments that are pretty borderline, but that guy like went above and beyond. I was like, oh, delete, block, I'm done. And I
see
never
the one.
block him.
Yeah, well, me either. Unless no, I think I'm usually the one that gets blocked. But Um, the one that I deleted was like a racist thing, and I was like, damn it, I could have taken it. I don't get offended easily, so I was like, I should have just left it up. But yeah, some people on the internet are just very. I mean, you call it keyboard warrior, right? But they love, and I have some that tell me the ugliest, not, and it's not that far, like it's not racist or anything like that, but they make fun of me or whatever it is. And this is like when I started my channel, they are still commenting to this day. Maybe not every video, but every few months. I'm like, you're still here. Obviously, you're still commenting, you're still watching. So it's funny how that works out because I've had some that are just reoccurring negative
Mm-hmm.
comments, but they've been there since I've started.
So what do you do with the negative comments? I like to like their comment. Sometimes I'm like, hey, thanks for your feedback. And it's like I say something positive and it just pisses. Um,
They have to really piss me off for me to do that, but I try to just ignore it. If it's something really stupid and not worth fighting, I just ignore it.
so that video I put out last week, someone on Facebook's like, how about you put the screw back in? But better yet, you're too dumb to do it. Something else.
Okay,
Someone,
that's bad.
he's like, you're too dumb to put the bolt back in or whatever. And I was like, nah, I think I'll just complain about it. I said, it triggered you to make a stupid ass comment.
Yeah, sometimes if it's something like that, I will be like, well, thanks for the view or thanks for the engagement or something just to kind of get back at them. But my one thing is I won't argue unless
Yeah.
I don't know, unless it's I don't know. I try not to.
I'll type it out. I'll type it out and then
Yes, that's
delete it.
happened to me too.
I got, I got. I think I
Delete it.
feel better just typing it out and like delete. Make sure I
Yeah,
don't hit send. Um, the people I love on the internet is the plumbers because they'll fight with people, dude.
dude.
They don't, and
I just
they
love
all clickbait. Their videos are all clickbait anyways.
I
And then
just
people
love
go on
watching
there.
them from afar.
It's, it's great, dude. I've met so many of them. They're actually friends of mine now. Like how they interact, I'm like, this is comedy gold, man. This is great. Like no
Yeah,
wonder you guys are getting
sometimes
paid.
sometimes I think they're like at each other's throats and then they're actually like just screwing with each other sometimes. And there's some
Mm-hmm.
that get pretty bad though, and I just funny you mention it cuz I've been watching a few recently that are just going back and forth and it's like just sit there with the popcorn and watch them go at it.
Well, and they know where each other live too. Like there's some in Canada that are pretty ruthless, dude, and they don't live far from each other. And it's like online, they're just like going at it. I'm like, this is wild, man.
Yeah, it's so funny. Um I think we covered everything that I wanted to. Just we need to think about the customer service side. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
deal with all sorts, different kinds of customers. I've dealt with it as a kid, dealing with just being a young guy and getting people giving me a hard time about it, and dealing with it now, having employees is like I'm trying to watch out for them. I don't like any. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable at work. That's my biggest thing. I want them to
Yeah,
be.
and
Go ahead.
I don't want people bullying my kids,
Yeah,
but that's just like, so add
it's
it to work.
life. It is life. You have
Uh,
to have a thick skin. You have to let it roll off, and that is a part of the trade. And it doesn't mean you have to take it. It's just it's always there. There's just like social media. There's always negativity, right? There's always negative comments. There's always somebody pushing your buttons. I've had people that question every little thing as I'm doing it, like as I'm taking out a screw, as I'm checking something, questioning every little thing. And I just got to remember I'm being paid for my time. I'm being paid to be out here. Whether they cause me to take another hour, whatever it is, I'm being paid for that. So I just try to keep that in mind. And for the most part, I mean, we outlast these managers a lot of the times, right? Like I don't see a lot of the bad ones that I used to have because we've been around. Or at least my company has been around almost 20 years. You don't
mhm.
deal. They interchange these managers all the time, so you might see them for a few years and then you won't see them again. So it is what it is, man. You gotta take it. You gotta be professional. And I only confront when it gets really bad, just to make sure they understand that we don't condone that. Because I had one of my guys in his first few weeks got cussed out at one of the calls, and I was like, "Geez, like you know, first impression of a call, a major call, and he gets cussed out.
Yeah, it's wild out there, man. You get it, but the longer you do it, the more you can read the room. Like
Yes.
now, I'm pretty good at it. Occasionally, you still get the customers you can't win over, or the people that are going to run their mouths. But most time, I walk into a kitchen if they're in there cracking jokes. I try to join in cracking jokes, or I make fun of their music if I see them joking around and stuff. And I very
Oh,
much enjoy doing what.
my dad hates that. He'll go and like turn off the radio because there's always music blasting, and he's like, I don't care. Let them get mad.
The bad thing with the music, though, you try to make a YouTube video and you get
Well, that's why I
copyright
don't
struck.
record inside. Yeah.
Dude, that video I put up this week, it's in the title. Like I was being sarcastic when I made the video title and the description. I'm like, this is probably gonna get copyright struck and everything else. And it's an hour and 5 minutes, and there's like Taylor Swift in the background. There's all kinds of music in the background. I didn't get nailed on none of it, dude.
None of it.
I'm like,
Dang.
I was like, I was like, I made this sarcastic, description
Yeah.
about this video, all this music. I'm gonna get nailed, be monetized, and here it is. It's through and got monetized. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, how did this
Damn.
go through?
Yeah.
So
Me
maybe
and the
that's a
guys have been flagged for a few seconds of stuff.
dude.
That's
You could
crazy.
if you play like you can click on random spots and you like it's Taylor Swift playing his day playing kinds of music, and it's
That's
loud because it's
funny.
in the stop man, and it's just it is what it is, dude.
Oh, that's funny, man. Do you have anything you want to end on, or did you get everything
No,
off
I
your
appreciate
chest?
like everything. I mean, I could go into detail, but I don't want to throw dealers under the bus or customers under the bus. I
No.
mean, just realize that people have bad days. You have bad days. And some days you may come off wrong to a customer, and they may take it wrong, or you know, everything goes both ways. Just
Yep.
be your best. Just try to put a good face forward, and hope for the best. You're not going to win everybody over, but just try hard, man. That's all I can say.
No, I have managers that don't like our company, and we have to go there for certain things, and there's tension, but I'm there working. I mean, work is work.
Yeah, I've had customers like, "Oh, we should have called this company." I'm like, "Well, you called us instead. So what do you want to do?"
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave and you can call them. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, you're still getting billed for my time here today. So you want me to fix it, or you want to call somebody else?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it has to be. Um, I appreciate you, Pat, for coming out. Thanks again. And
Mm-hmm.
like we mentioned earlier, everything that you do, I really like seeing like what you've done with the podcast, the social media, award winning. Hopefully, you get another one. And thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, man.
We got to save the world one podcast at a time.
That's
Appreciate everybody for coming out. We'll see you guys next week. Why isn't it playing? We're still here.
yeah. Say we're still here.
It's not working, so I'm just gonna end it.